I'm delighted to have with us today Dato Amirul Feisal Wanzahir, the Managing Director of Khazanah Nasional Berhad. Welcome, Dato Feisal.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You're in Khazanah now. Khazanah's been around for a long time now. I think of it as a new company, but it's not. It's well over 25 years old. It's been around. What do you see for the future?
Purpose is basically it's a house that holds the commercial investments of the country and requiring a commercial return, but also to look at areas where there's an impact on new growth areas for the country. Now that was back then, that was in the mid-90s. And I think, this was the time when there was Proton, there was Silterra, I think there was a few other new growth areas for the country back then. That's the purpose. But so when you actually look at today, in a way, it's the same, right? It's about creating value, creating wealth, and also seeing how we can spur the economy. Now, I think when you actually look at the journey as we go along or growing along, Khazanah has always been at the forefront in a lot of the thought leadership matters, whether it's sustainability, whether it's looking at technology. And people don't realize this, but that's how they have been at the forefront, and we continue to do that.
You've set aside some money for Dana IMPAK, where you will invest in Malaysia, presumably in smaller companies, and you don't expect the same types of return you would otherwise expect from your investment.
So Dana IMPAK, so I talked about the investment portfolio, then we have the development fund, and then we also have the impact fund. And this is new, and it's focused on Malaysia, 6 billion over 5 years. This is something where we do require preservation of capital on a portfolio basis, a return, but it may not be as high as a commercial return. But we need to measure the impact that it would have. And here we're talking about building resilience for the country, as well as spurring new growth areas, right? So that's something that we are doing when we look at it. It's kind of like a double bottom line with financial as well as societal impact.
Malaysian Airlines. What are your plans for Malaysian Airlines?
Well, immediately, we want to make sure that we recover from the pandemic as best as possible. The pandemic helped a bit. And why it helped is because it corrected the balance sheet structure. Capitalism was very successful in also looking at the cost structure as well, running cost structure. So he's done very well in fixing the two. Now it's making sure that, any growth is sustainable going forward.
Do we still want to keep it as a regional airline, or are we going to go back to the old MAS, which used to fly to every corner of the world?
I know one approach for growth is you have a lot of capital, you have an ambition, go for it, and then invest. Malaysia Airlines, it's not that way. I think where we have to be very conservative in the capital, and therefore we'll see how it grows from there. We do have some international, which makes a lot of sense. So it tends to be more deliberate and more gradual growth.
Thank you so much. I just wish you all the very best, Dato Amirul Feisal, and all the best to you and to Khazanah and to your journey. So thank you.
Thanks very much. I really enjoyed this conversation. I hope everyone did as well.